What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel and the chaos that is my life. If you missed it in last week's video, I am moving and I'll just give you a little quick look. You can't see all the rows of boxes, but we are packing our lives away. By the time I post this, hopefully the house will be in a little bit more order. But I just wanted to share a couple of tips that I did both while moving into this apartment and what we're doing now as we pack to just kind of make our lives a little bit easier. Also, I would just like to say I'm so sorry for the state of my face. I don't really have any time to put on makeup. I also think I've packed almost all of my makeup, so I don't really know if I even have anything acceptable to put on my face right now. So excuse, all natural. Anyway, so my first and favorite tip probably is to get light switch dimmers. So instead of just going with the on-off option that your apartment probably gave you, go ahead, go to Home Depot, get a light switch dimmer, and it is kind of tricky to attach all the wires correctly, but hello YouTube, there are tons of resources and videos available for you to get it done correctly. Just don't forget to either switch them out when you move out, or like us, we're just gonna leave them and leave the original switches for the apartment in case they want to switch it out. So my second tip is about lining your cabinets and drawers. Now, I do hope you do this. If you don't, please get on it. But you can use the cheapest kind of liner, which is sticky on the back. But it can be kind of a pain to install, and it's definitely a pain to uninstall. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you down to a drawer and show you what I did instead. So this works for both the cabinet lining and the drawer lining, but what you want to do is cut your lining to size, and then you'll see here I can fit my finger underneath the center of that lining. That's because I didn't peel off the whole back of the sticker. What I did was only rip off the front lip and the back lip of the lining. That way when I came to take it off when I moved out, it was actually a much quicker process than having to pull that entire thing off. So my next one is not really a tip, but I hate shower glass doors, and unfortunately my apartment came with these bad boys. I hated it. So what I did was I actually cut the caulking or whatever it was, and I popped this guy off, and then I was able to take these doors off and store them in a back closet. I did not do this by myself, I had some help, but instead I hung a tall white shower curtain where the glass doors would have been. That was amazing. Also, I have these terrible vertical blinds that personally I just hate. If you love them, nothing against them, I just hate them. They make so much noise, they're inconvenient, and they break and fall off a lot. So, same thing, well, not same thing, but I was able to take off the curtain rod from the wall, and then I replaced it with a curtain. Now, you can't see these things right now because I have since replaced the shower doors and the curtain, but for me that just really opened up the space. Didn't open up the space, but it made the space feel a lot less apartment-y and more cozy. So definitely recommend, if you're not a fan of the blinds or the glass doors, you can get rid of them and create your own vibe. Now, I know those tips might not be the most revolutionary things ever, but those are just things that I think people don't really think about when they move in, and they can really help either spruce up the space or save yourself some headache. So, moving on to the tips that I have used while packing. So it might seem self-explanatory, but the number one tip I have for you if you are packing up an apartment or a house and moving is to use every single thing that you can as a container for stuff, and especially like clothes and things. There are lots of crevices that go unused in boxes, especially with weird shaped items. So not only can you use your clothes instead of like paper or newspaper to wrap glassware or fragile items in, but when you have pockets of space in every single box, my husband and I were using our underwear, our socks, our t-shirts, our pants, anything that would actually fit to fill those holes, so that those boxes are, one, stuffed to the max, and two, the stuff that's in them are pretty well protected now because there's lots of fabric cushion. So I'm sure you will remember to remove all of your artwork and things that you have hanging on your walls before you move out of your home, but I would suggest actually getting that step done before you do any other major moving, because if you leave your artwork and pictures up on the walls while you're moving, you could easily hit it with a piece of furniture or a box while you're doing moving around it. So like for us, The clock is the last thing we've left up there, but we had a bunch of artwork hanging here, and that's all gone because we were using the space initially to stack our boxes. So I would have hated to have broken something or scratched something because we were moving our boxes when we could have just taken them down. They have since been shrink wrapped, which is not necessarily a tip, everybody knows that, but definitely invest in some shrink wrap for your valuables while you are moving. For packing up the kitchen, if you have the boxes that your kitchen appliances came in, I would highly suggest using them. Chances are there is some wiggle room within the box. So stuff like your spices, especially if you have like an Instapot, put spices inside your kitchen appliance as well, not just in the box. I personally have lots of kitchen containers that I would like to save. They are airtight containers. I'll link them in the description box below. But I love them and I wasn't about to get rid of them, and packing them empty was a waste of space. So same thing like the clothes. Stuff as many things as you can into kitchen containers, or even if they're not kitchen containers, I had like a basket that I filled with kitchen stuff and then put that inside a box. It just kind of helps keep everything together and in one spot so that it's not flying all over, and it saves space. One of the best space-saving things we've done is using vacuum sealing bags for our clothes. We don't need our clothes to be in pristine condition, so we can go ahead and stuff them in, suck all the air out, and then we put them into these underbed storage containers, which we will then put in our car top carrier. It's just a really great way to maximize your space, especially with things you don't really need to be in great condition. Okay, so this last one isn't really a tip. I know you all know that if you don't need any furniture, you'll need to get rid of it before your move. But I would argue that you should get rid of your furniture as soon as possible. Even if you think you're using it, you're probably not using it to the extent that you need it for the rest of your move. So, I used to have a bed frame. I no longer have a bed frame. My husband and I are sleeping on the floor. We also got rid of our nightstand, so everything is just on the floor and we are doing just fine. We sold it on Facebook Marketplace. Super, super convenient. I just set a price and I said you have to come pick it up if you want it, and people have done that. So we got rid of the bed. The only furniture that we have here still is our couch, which is getting picked up tonight. And then the things like our dresser and my vanity and our desk that we are actually bringing on the trip with us. So like I said, nothing revolutionary or game-changing, but just a couple of things that I did when I moved in and things that I've done as we're moving out that I thought I would share because I don't think everybody thinks about them. And also it can save you some money and or headache. Moving itself is stressful enough, so just a couple of things to hopefully decrease that level of stress. I will be doing another video next week on the checklist of things to do before you move out an apartment. So I hope to see you back here next week. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click the button below to subscribe. It really helps my channel. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Pause for a second and look at how comfortable Murphy looks on that yogi bowl. She's just living her best life. Murphy!